Periscope family, good morning. To my replayers, thank you all for tuning in. For those of you all coming on live right now, good morning, happy Monday. The Real Tiff Love, perfect_lady 3, Mr. Hadley, what's going on, my brother? I hope you all are doing well. Come on in, guys. How was your weekend? Did everything go well? Did you have fun? What's going on? Man, listen, I pray you all had a great weekend. This is going to be a quick scope. Give me 10 minutes. We'll be out of here. Y'all pray for the trolls this morning that they don't come in. Love Korean Marie. What's going on, family? How y'all doing? Mocha Hannes, DJ. Clo, what's going on? Good morning. Audie, good morning. Good morning. Yo, so I want to do this real quick. Invite your followers. Thank you all so much who have done it already. Lisa, to you, good morning. Audie 38, good morning. Guys, y'all know how we get down on Monday mornings. It's Mask Off Mondays. We want to make sure that we are being our best self, doing what we need to do when it comes to living out our best life and really seeking what God has for us, right? So today, practice what you preach. Really simple concept, but sometimes hard to implement in our own lives, man. Look, as I was going through the new book, Love Between My Scars, one of the things that I've really been focusing on is the chapter in here where I talk about wearing a mask. Absolutely, do what you say, right? So for me, one of the things that I thought about was the repercussions to not practicing what you preach. And it's not always the same way, right? Some people who do other than what they actually say find themselves being exposed. That's what took place for me when I was in college. During the time of all the preaching of not having sex before marriage, I told y'all I was up there screwing like a little rabbit, having it every day, like cheeks clapping, right? Boom. Got exposed, right? Dealing with all of these things when it came to the depression, when it came to dealing with the suicide, when it came to dealing with all of these internal issues while trying to keep other people empowered and other people motivated. It was tough. It was real hard. And once I finally got exposed, it was like my life changed. And it was almost a battle that I felt like I wasn't going to be able to overcome as it related to really getting back to a good space in life and reclaiming what it is I was supposed to reclaim. Unfortunately, some of us, it's not always like that. Sometimes we don't get exposed from a standpoint of, oh, our dirt has just been aired out there. Unfortunately, man, I'm noticing now you see a lot of people who are funny men and women, right? People who work for a living of making people smile and look like a black Will Smith. Wow, thanks. When it comes to making people smile and bringing joy to their lives, we take people like Robin Williams, for example, right? Man, we talk about somebody who was instrumental in comedy over a few decades, right? The span of a few decades, and died from, trying to take himself out. We get people like this all the time, and I think it's really interesting that we are in these spaces. Guys, I just want to encourage you all really quickly because this is serious, right? We don't know how it will play out in our lives. We don't know how it will play out when it comes to the things that we are walking into in our future. So it's very important that we not just practice what we preach, but actually pay attention to the practice itself, right? Some of us can't practice what we preach because we don't know what the practice looks like, because we're preaching one thing and all we know how to do is preach, right? But we might need to take a step back and take some time to focus in on the practice, right? So in order for you to practice what you preach, you've got to understand what it is you need to practice. But in order for you to understand what it is you need to practice, you must first be in a space of understanding why the practice is important. What areas of your life are you struggling in? What things are you dealing with currently that even call for you to practice in the first place, right? It's easy for us to say, hey, you got to practice what you preach or don't practice at all. But if I don't know the areas that I'm struggling in that need practice, how can I know that I need to practice, right? So today, guys, take a step back, right? One of the things that I talk about in my new book, Love Between My Scars, was the idea of wearing this mask. And in wearing this mask, I wore these masks because I didn't want to face, head on the issues, the underlying issues, right? The internal issues, the things I was struggling with, the things I was dealing with. So it's very important for you to have a knowledge of what it is you're going through before you start getting into a space of practicing, right? So I don't know what your struggle is. Look, I told y'all chapter 9 in my second book, Between the Dream. I talked about starving the beast. The concept of starving the beast came from my constant battle with lust and perversion, specifically when it came to masturbation and pornography, right? And how it became an addiction in my life. And one of the things that I later on really became knowledgeable of was the fact that the beast itself could only be starved when I actually acknowledged the beast for what it was. Look, understanding that the thing that I'm dealing with is not a friend, but a foe. It's something that needs to go out of my life. And so many times, we deal with things in life that make us feel like, oh, maybe this belongs here, or this is my muse. This is what I turn to. This is what I go to when things get hard, when the struggle is real. And it literally facades itself as a helping hand. It facades itself as something that's supposed to be there. But the reality is it's not. So it's really, really important that you are mindful of what it is that you're going through so you can know what you need to do to alternate when it comes to the practice that will help you come out of these things, right? So guys, today, look, be knowledgeable. Admit what it is you're going through and start to work within it. Don't just play around and say, oh, this has been here for so long, it's just a part of me. We've got to be real with the things that we struggle with. We've got to be real with the things that we deal with. And in being real, we have to face them head on. Truth is that when we start to acknowledge the reality for what it is, it's hard. And when we do this, we will put up every wall that we need to. We will run as far away as we need to and not face the thing head on. So today, my encouragement for you is, can you face it? Yes, it might be uncomfortable. Yes, you might have been in it for a while. Some of us have been in things that actually hold the facade of good, right? They hold the facade of better, but it isn't the best thing for you. Some of us are in great places and we're like, yo, this is really good for my life. But what if that good thing that you're currently in isn't the best? What if that good thing looks good and it is good, but it isn't everything that you need, right? We talk about divine alignment, right? Practice what you preach, right? We can't tell other people, oh, you deserve the best in life. You deserve God's best, but you're still sitting in your good or your greater, but not in your best. So whatever it is that you need in life, man, look, make sure that you are really seeking and diving into the best in everything in life. Like, don't just sit up here and take a half credit. Don't sit up here and take half of the thing. Like, legit practice what you preach. If you know you deserve better, why are you still sitting around with mediocre? If you know you deserve the best, why is average still a part of your daily lifestyle? These are the things that we need to focus in on, right? So look, it's okay to evaluate your situation. It's okay to evaluate everywhere that you are in life. It's okay to evaluate you as a person, the things that you deal with internally, your feelings, your thoughts. It is absolutely okay for you to be in spaces to become aware and then to know how to move forward and in what areas and ways you need to move forward, right? Practicing what you preach is one thing, but understanding the practice and why you need it in the first place is another. So today, become aware, right? For some of us with our attitudes, we might feel like, oh, well, you know what? Yep, Kay, what's going on? Mask off Mondays. I need to have this kind of attitude. I need to have this persona. But why? Why do you need it? And then you start to actually break it down and realize like, yo, well, maybe I don't need this. Maybe it's doing more harm than it is good. And once we get to those spaces of understanding, guys, you can truly begin to bring in the alternatives that you need to practice in order for you to be better and do better in life. Guys, I love you all much. That is my scope for today. I told you, real simple, real easy. I want you all to walk in your best self and in your best gift. Like I said, this is something that I'm learning daily for me. It's not just, something I'm putting out here. This is daily. Like I said, unashamednation.com. You can read more in my new book, Love Between My Scars. You'll get a chance to really see a lot more, man. Look, when it comes to grief, when it comes to loss, when it comes to trauma, all of these things that cause us to get into a space of wearing masks in the first place and not practicing what we preach. It's time to take it off, because once we take it off, we can allow ourselves to be exposed to the right person, which is God, right? We can allow ourselves to be exposed in the right things. And when we are exposed in the right things, we do what we need to do. Guys, I love you all. I hope you all have a great day. Don't forget, you can go to unashamednation.com. Absolutely. How are you so uncomfortable in a life that is so comfortable? And that's a great question, Travis. I appreciate you for that, because I think a lot of times You know, we do get into that space. Did you have abandonment issues? I wouldn't necessarily say abandonment issues. I think that just dealing with the misunderstanding of a lot of things causes us, and we might, you know what, Kay, we all got a lot of work to put in. You know, I think the misunderstanding that causes you to feel abandoned or neglected at time or rejected, you know what I mean? Those things are what's really important. So it wasn't necessarily abandonment. It was more so rejection and neglect. And in those spaces, when you're not careful, you allow the feelings of abandonment to start trickling in more, right? So it's like, yo, remember what I told y'all? When you wear the mask, right? And I talk about this in the book. When you wear the mask, what happens is that there's a foundation that's laid, right? The mask is the foundation. And from that foundation, what tends to happen is you find yourself in a space where layers are constantly being put on, right? So while abandonment wasn't the big issue, it was the rejection and the insecurities that allowed the rejection to take place, right? But from that, then abandonment kind of started to seep in, right? Then jealousy, then envy, then all of these issues and problems that came along with it. These are the spaces within the mask that we deal with that we have to be mindful of in the first place. So for me, one of my biggest struggles was the fact that after I put on the mask, I wasn't paying attention to the layers. I wasn't paying attention to all of these layers that were being put on. Good morning, Kat. I wasn't paying attention to layer after layer that was actually covering up the underlying foundation, the underlying issue, right? So guys, this is why we've got to be very careful and understanding what it is we're practicing all together and why we're practicing it in the first place. Because you will see, yo, the same way as levels to your greatness, there are levels to the things that cause destruction. There are levels to the things that cause you the confusion in life, that cause all of these issues that you go to. Yo, so look, it's very important. Look, pay attention to the layers that have been created. Good morning, Ebony. Pay attention to the layers that have been created, that have caused the issues that cause you to actually get into a place of practice so you can actually practice what you preach. I love you all, man. Look, I hope you all have a great, great day. As always, you are not losing in life. You are not failing. You are simply between the dream. Don't forget you can follow me on here, on Instagram at RL Taylor Jr., Facebook and YouTube, Richard L. Taylor Jr. You can get your copy of all three of my books at unashamednation.com. Unashamed, Between the Dream. Thank you to everybody who took advantage of the $10 holla, and of course my brand new book, Love Between My Scars. You're going to see a massive push with this book coming up. I am really serious about helping people find the freedom in grief and loss and traumatic situations, dealing with mental health, all the above. I love you all, man. Look, have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.